necessarily a minority religion anymore. It's the fastest growing religion in the United States.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Robert in Mississippi. Let's go to Ray in Texas. And first-time callers only, 800-259-9231. Call back Matthew in Georgia, and we'll get you back on. Ray in Texas, go ahead, please.
Yes, what I wanted to say is I believe in God. I just don't believe in man-made religion, any religion. Because every religion, if you don't believe their way, you're going to hell. And I don't believe in that kind of control.
All right.
Okay, well,
I was talking earlier about the Blue Beam Project, and I want to continue that for a few minutes, if we can.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, he didn't really explain about the Blue Beam Project, about what they're going to use. They were first going to use the religion card, but it looks more like they're going to use the ET card. With what's going on in Copenhagen, Americans are being split, and the elite think the people are actually getting out of control, so they need to have another false flag operation. So what's the biggest event in human history that could happen that would do this? They're going to play the old card again, though. How do you say, Republican-Democrat card, the whole football game thing. They're going to try, it's called divide and conquer, them against us. They're going to say, okay, there's all these things out there, disclosure, there's all these things out there, we don't know what they are, but you know what, we need to combat them. So it's going to be a diversion. So instead of all these people going to jail... Let me just
ask you a question. You said they thought it was going to be the religion card. I didn't hear what you said. Now it's going to be the what card?
The ET card.
ET card. Oh, okay, thank you.
With Project Bluebeam, they can put holograms in the air, and they can actually make you hear things in your head with all these HARP towers that they put all over the country. Having people seen all these towers they put up everywhere, and they're not cell towers. Let me tell you, they're not cell towers. They're within a mile of each other, and I'm sure everybody all over the country has noticed them. They're everywhere. Those towers, it looks like they have giant speakers on them, but they're not speakers. Those are microwave towers. They have the technology to put, when they do these microwaves, they can put voices right in your head. When they do this, you're going to think you're hearing stuff. You're going to think you're hearing God, or you're going to think you're hearing UFO. I mean, they're going to put this stuff right in your head.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification on that. Actually, you're right. And many of these towers are actually inside of the steeples of churches, too. They put them in there.
With these so-called chemtrails, I'm ex-military, so I know about some of this stuff. These so-called chemtrails they've been putting up in the air, it's barium and aluminum oxide. What they're doing is they're putting up a screen. I mean, they're putting up a screen up there where they can actually project these holograms. They need something to bounce off of, so they're putting these in the atmosphere. They're putting up like a screen up there.
Yeah, and it's all, again, there's a spiritual aspect to this. A lot of people don't realize this, but at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine in New York City on Amsterdam Avenue, that there's been scaffolding there for scores of years already. And at the top, there is a projection device that works with holograms. They could actually project, they're working on this, project an image of what would look like Jesus coming back down from the sky.
Exactly. Just let the people know not to be fooled when these things happen, because they're getting ready to happen.
And I agree with you. I don't believe in organized religion at all. I believe that we should follow the God of the Bible and follow the gospel. But I don't believe in organized religion.
Actually, what you feel in your heart is the way to follow.
Okay, so you're saying, Pastor, you don't go to a quote-unquote church?
I do. I have a church, in fact, but it's not a part of any organization. We have no members. Our church, people just come, we gather together and worship.
Okay, so if I went there on Sunday morning, is that when you worship on Sunday morning?
Sunday morning, Wednesday night, Saturday night prayer meeting, Thursday night internet Q&A. We're busy all the time, actually.
Wow, internet Q&A, boy.
There's groups here at Austin that meet all the time. All the time.
Mm-hmm.
About every time. And these groups are growing more and more and more and more. People's awareness is really becoming, really up there. People are becoming aware of themselves and what's going on with themselves, because a lot of people are changing. As far as the harmonics and, there was a test that was done with a speaker and salt, and the different frequencies from the sound from the speaker would make geometric shapes as you went up in frequency. the scientists are saying that all the planets are being bombarded with frequencies. So something's going on here. I'm thinking that these crop circles are the same thing, these frequencies that are bombarding the Earth as well as other planets.
Right, that's true. And you get into Pythagorean geometry there, too, sacred geometry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it all has to do with your DNA.
Yep, right.
Okay. Thank you very much for the phone call. I appreciate it very much. Brian in Indiana, you're on the air. Go ahead, please, with Pastor David J. Meyer. Just fell off. Brian, call back again, and we'll get you back on. A question here, off-air question, which is, Pastor Meyer's mentioned there being a difference between Satan and Lucifer. What is the difference between the two supposed to be?
Okay, really, Lucifer is mentioned in Isaiah chapter 14 as the guardian of the throne of God, the highest of all the archangels. And he, when he was lifted up with pride, according to Ezekiel 28, he was cast down. He's still, what he is, he's a fallen archangel. So he is a powerful being, actually, and but very evil. He became Satan. So Lucifer no longer is Lucifer, he became Satan. And he is the one who, with his 1/3 of all the angels of heaven, went with him. So they are fallen spirits as well, and that's the kingdom of Satan.
All right. Let me go to Raleigh in Alabama. First-time caller. Welcome to the Power Hour today. Question or comment for Pastor Myers?
Thank
Please
you
turn
so
down your radio.
very much.
Turn down your radio.
Well, I would just like to add that there was 42 generations from what you say, from Abraham to Jesus, or which one it was?
Yeah, that's right. 42. You're
It's
correct.
42 generations.
You're right.
I forget which one you said. Either
it's 14.
Abraham or Adam. I don't know which one, but I know it's been 42 generations since the creation up to Jesus. Now, my comment is, before my question, is that there ain't going to be no smoke screen when Jesus come back and call his saints home in the resurrection. That's why he's coming in the middle of the air himself, because he will be the one to guard us to get home. So we might as well believe that nothing man can do. Now, my question is, and I think it's kind of briefly been answered, these people are so enamored with wanting these extraterrestrial. Will you please let them know that these things are real and that they ain't nothing but demons, because Satan is given power of this world by God, and he have these different demons and ETs and stuff that the people do see. So I appreciate your comment on that.
Thank you, Raleigh. We'll be right back after this break, and we'll let the pastor answer that. Are we going to be seeing a smoke screen in the air or not? Will we be able to tell, and how will we be able to tell if it's the true Messiah? We'll be back after this 3-minute break. Final segment coming up. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Power Hour, ladies and gentlemen. We have a power that is much greater than anything else, and that's the important part that we know from this program today. We've got a couple of callers, but before we go to them, the question that Raleigh had from Alabama, and I do thank all of you first-time callers for calling today. We've had a list of them, a slug of them. The smoke screen. Are we going to know if it's the true Messiah coming from the heavens, Pastor?
Well, I'll tell you what. I look at it this way. He's coming back on the last day. We know that. So if there's a next day, it wasn't him.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
There. I'll mark that down. Memo to self. Okay.
Okay.
Good way to tell. All right. Thank you very much. But I mean, is it truly, there is Project Bluebeam, though, which was created for that kind of thing?
Oh, yes, for holograms and things like that, sure. Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't surprise me if they try to use it. It's a part of the Scripture says that there would be a great deception, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And the devil duplicates. Okay, let's go to Tammy in Alabama. No, wait, JG in Texas. I'm sorry, JG. Go ahead, please.
Hi, this is JG.
Hey, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I have a question for the pastor. I was wondering if you could tell us or suggest a way for us to pray for our children or even ourselves if we've had parents or grandparents who were involved in witchcraft and or the occult and or masonry?
Excellent.
Yes, very, very good question. What you need to do, because these things do work along family lines. These spirits try to stay in families. And what you need to do is sever every kind of a connection with anything in the occult. You do it with prayer, and you bind and you break the power of that so that it